Imagine standing on a quiet beach at sunset. Waves roll in, the sky turns orange, and you pick up a small shell from the sand. Delicate, beautiful, and ancient. You hold it in your hand, not realizing that it carries the story of millions of years of life's evolution. Now, what if I told you that everything, from the smallest ant to the tallest tree, from you watching this video to the dolphins swimming in the deep, all share a common origin? That's not science fiction, that's evolution. Yet one of the most common questions people still ask is, if evolution is real, why do they call it just a theory? Let's dive deep into this mystery, not with fancy terms or heavy science talk, but through the real story of how humans came to understand one of the most fascinating truths about life on Earth. Because behind this theory lies one of the most powerful ideas ever discovered, an idea that changed how we see ourselves and the world around us forever. Our story begins in the 1800s, on a ship called the Beagle. A young naturalist named Charles Darwin, only in his 20s, set sail around the world. He wasn't looking for fame or controversy. He was simply curious. As the ship moved through the oceans, from South America to the Galapagos Islands, Darwin collected plants, fossils, and animals, carefully studying their shapes and differences. On the surface, everything seemed ordinary, but he noticed something odd. Finches on one island had big, strong beaks for cracking nuts, while on another, the finches had thin, pointed beaks for catching insects. Same kind of bird, but perfectly adapted to their environments. That observation sparked a question that would shake the foundations of science and religion alike. Could life itself change over time? Could species evolve to fit their surroundings? Darwin returned home with his mind full of questions. For years, he gathered evidence, studied fossils, and compared species. He realized something extraordinary. Nature wasn't fixed, it was constantly changing. Species that were best suited to survive would pass on their traits to their offspring. This process, which he called natural selection, was the invisible hand shaping life over countless generations. When Darwin finally published his book On the Origin of Species in 1859, the world exploded with debate. Imagine the shock of that time. For centuries, people believed that every creature was created exactly as it is, unchanged and eternal. But here came Darwin suggesting that humans and apes might share a distant ancestor, that we too were products of evolution, not exceptions to it. Now, let's pause for a second. When you hear evolution is just a theory, it sounds like it's uncertain, like it's a wild guess or an unproven idea. But in science, the word theory doesn't mean guess. It means an explanation backed by overwhelming evidence. The theory of gravity, the theory of relativity, the theory of germs, these are all scientific theories. And just like gravity keeps you grounded to the Earth, evolution explains why all life on this planet is connected. So why do some people still doubt it? Well, part of the reason is misunderstanding. The word theory in everyday language sounds weak, but in science, a theory is the highest form of understanding we have, tested, observed, and supported by thousands of experiments and discoveries. Evolution isn't just a theory, it's one of the most proven, evidence-based ideas in all of science. Let's travel in time, not millions of years, but to a modern-day laboratory. A scientist looks into a microscope, studying DNA, the genetic code that makes you who you are. With the help of computers, scientists can now trace back your DNA, your family history, and even your ancient ancestors. What they found is stunning. Humans share about 98.8% of their DNA with chimpanzees. That's almost identical. And with bananas? Surprisingly, we share about 60%. That's how deeply connected life truly is. Evolution isn't just something from history books. You can actually see it happening today. For example, bacteria evolve resistance to antibiotics. When you take antibiotics, the strongest bacteria survive and multiply. That's evolution in real time. Farmers see it in pests that adapt to pesticides. Even viruses, like COVID-19, evolve into new variants. These are living examples of evolution at work, right before our eyes. But for centuries, evolution has been tangled in myths and misunderstandings. Some people think evolution says humans came directly from monkeys, but that's not true. It says humans and monkeys share a common ancestor millions of years ago, a species that no longer exists. It's like cousins who shared the same grandparents, but went on to form different families. Evolution doesn't say life is random either. It's about gradual changes guided by natural forces, chance mutations, and survival. A process that's both beautiful and logical. Still, for many people, this idea feels unsettling, because evolution doesn't just tell us how life changes, it challenges how we see ourselves. Are we special? Are we more than just another species on this planet? Darwin himself struggled with these questions. He never denied the beauty of creation. Instead, he saw nature as something even more awe-inspiring, a vast, intricate system that constantly shapes and reshapes life. Let's bring in a more personal story. Imagine a child staring at dinosaur fossils in a museum. Massive bones, giant creatures that once ruled the earth. That same child grows up learning that birds are the modern descendants of dinosaurs. The small sparrow outside your window is a living dinosaur. Isn't that mind-blowing? Evolution doesn't destroy the magic of life, it deepens it. It shows us that we are part of a story that began long before humans ever walked the earth. And one of the most incredible pieces of evidence for evolution lies deep underground, in fossils. These fossils are like pages of an ancient book. Each layer of rock preserves a chapter in Earth's history, from ancient fish that developed limbs to crawl onto land, to reptile-like creatures that evolved into mammals. The record is clear and consistent. And then there's us, Homo sapiens. Fossils of early human ancestors like Australopithecus, Homo habilis, and Homo erectus show a clear progression. Bigger brains, better tools, and upright walking. Step by step over millions of years, humans evolved. And even though evolution may seem slow, it's not always that way. Sometimes rapid changes happen under extreme conditions, like during mass extinctions. When the dinosaurs disappeared, mammals quickly diversified, filling the empty ecological roles. That's why we exist today. Evolution doesn't stop. It keeps adapting, responding, and transforming, and it's still happening. Now let's imagine another moment. You're looking up at the night sky, billions of stars stretching across the darkness. You realize that every atom in your body, the carbon, the calcium, the iron, was once created inside a star. The stars died, exploded, and spread their elements across space, eventually forming new planets and life. Evolution didn't just shape life on Earth, it's part of a much bigger story, the evolution of the entire universe. From stardust to living beings, we are all connected. But despite all the evidence, debates still arise. Some people believe evolution conflicts with their faith or their understanding of creation. However, many scientists and religious thinkers agree that evolution and belief can coexist. Evolution doesn't answer why we exist, it answers how we came to be. The why is still a mystery open to personal belief and philosophy. Science seeks truth through observation, faith seeks meaning through reflection. They can stand side by side. Let's get real for a second. If you've ever felt awe watching a nature documentary, seeing a caterpillar turn into a butterfly, or witnessing a child grow and change, you've witnessed evolution's beauty in action. It's not cold or mechanical, it's creative, resilient, and endlessly fascinating. It shows that life always finds a way. So, is evolution just a theory? No. It's the story of life itself. It's the evidence written in your DNA, carved into the rocks beneath your feet, and seen in every living thing around you. It's one of humanity's greatest discoveries, proof that we are all part of something vast, ancient, and miraculous. And Darwin once said, "From so simple a beginning, endless forms most beautiful and most wonderful have been and are being evolved." And maybe that's what makes evolution truly extraordinary. It's not just science, it's the poetry of existence. The idea that we're all connected, past, present, and future, through the same thread of life. So the next time someone says evolution is just a theory, you'll know better. It's not just anything. It's the grand story of who we are, where we came from, and how every living thing on this planet shares the same incredible journey. And perhaps that's the most powerful truth of all. that we are all still evolving, still learning, still changing, just like the world that shaped us.